Hi everyone, as promised, here is another Mastery Skills Assessment video. I said I would be trying to do 1 or 2 of these a week. Now if you're in Mastery Skills, I will be placing the videos right above the actual test. So I've already done the fact and opinion, and I uploaded it right above the actual fact and opinion test, so it's there and easily accessible. Several of you have mentioned you wanted help with the making inferences skill. On your screen, it'll be the third one listed. So what I did is I went into the gradebook to look to see if post-test 1 or post-test 2 would be most beneficial, and it was actually pretty split. A lot of you had taken both, and some of you had only taken 1 or only taken 2. So I decided to go ahead and do post-test 1, and what I did was, if you did not score very well on post-test 1, I cleared it out. So you're technically getting like a redo, which I know it sounds like you're going to have a little bit more work to do, but I figured hopefully you wouldn't mind if it meant it led to a higher score on this test, and then obviously higher score overall on the mastery skills. So again, if you did not do well on the post-test 1, I cleared the attempt out so that you are able to go back in and take this with me so that you can help your score. I also like post-test 1 because it goes over what an inference is as well as some examples, practices. So I like this one because it talks about like what an inference is, what it's not, and how to kind of apply and use it, and then it gives us some examples, whereas the second test was just answering questions about the paragraphs that they're written there. So we're going to go ahead and go through this. All right, question number 1. When making inferences, readers should do what? While both of these things are important, the key here is to use only information that's clearly stated. Yes, we need to know what the main idea is, but that's not the main focus. We want to know what the main idea is, but we also can only use information that's clearly stated. We should not be using like opinions. We should not be using other pieces of text. It has to be right there clearly stated in the piece that we're working on. Question 2, which of the following is not helpful when drawing conclusions? Not helpful. Well, using facts and details closely is helpful, which means that using stated opinions is not necessarily as helpful. Although I will say using opinions is helpful, it's just not as helpful as looking at the facts and details closely. Like you have to know what the facts are, what the details are in your paragraph. I'm thinking back to the acronym like clues, check your comprehension, look at the details. You have to know what the details and facts are, therefore opinions is not as helpful. So that's one of those where it's like, which one is the best answer? Because either of them could have applied to be helpful, but using stated opinions is not as helpful. All right, question 3. An effective technique for making inferences on multiple choice tests. So yeah, eliminate choices, that's a really general multiple choice technique. Again, process of elimination, pretty general multiple choice technique. This one is helping you with inferences, to think about the question as true, false, and determine which statements are true and false. That is like an inference-based technique to see if, hey, could we use this and go back into the paragraph and prove it true or prove it false? So that's a specific inference technique. All right, question 4. Julia is a website designer. When she designs a new website aimed at attracting female internet users, she uses pink as a background. A logical conclusion drawn from this passage is, some people might go to women like the color pink, but we can't prove that. We can prove, though, that apparently Julia assumes women like the color pink. If she's using pink as a background, Julia then has the assumption that women appreciate and like pink as a color. Question 5. Many people in the United States conduct internet searches on a regular basis, but they would likely give a confused look if asked to define search marketing. What can you infer from the above statement? So it's saying that, people know what to do online. They can search things, but if they were asked to define search marketing, like the concept of search marketing, what could we kind of assume? Probably, maybe that it's difficult to understand, but probably that most people are just not familiar with that. I don't think we could say everyone knows what that is because it says they would have a confused look. It's not obviously discussed regularly. I really don't hear of this very often. So it might be difficult to understand, but I think a safer assumption, a safer inference would be most people are not familiar with what this is as a field. Okay, question 6. During the 2000 holiday season, about 36 million consumers purchased online and spent an average of $304. A logical conclusion from this statement is, so if we look at ours, it has nothing to do with limited amount of time. It doesn't talk about internet advertising. I mean, it could have been effective, but it doesn't mention that at all. Internet sellers were offering steep discounts. Again, that's not in the statement anywhere. But what we can safely infer is that online shopping was pretty popular. Obviously, like 36 million people spent an average of $304. That implies that it was a pretty popular thing in 2000. Question 7. Today, there are more than 700 e-marketplaces currently in operation. Most of them will face an uphill battle to survive, says BCG Vice President Jim Andrew. So an uphill battle makes it sound like, okay, they're going to have a hard time. So if you look at your choices, the one that is best is the e-marketplace is saturated and highly competitive. That kind of alludes to this uphill battle to survive. There are a lot of e-marketplaces, like online consumer and buying, Target.com, Amazon, that kind of stuff. There's a bunch of them. And so there's an uphill battle, meaning it's going to be highly competitive, saturated a lot. So that's the safest assumption there. Question 8, many high-ticket items are now purchased with online help. According to automotive industry research company Polk, 60% of U.S. car buyers used the internet to help with their purchase in 2000, up from 46% in 1999. We can infer from the passage that if we look at our choices, I like this one, all buyers purchased cars online and had them delivered to their homes. That's not in there anywhere. Most buyers do not use the internet. Well, it says 60%, so actually a majority of people did. So it seems like this one. Buyers did online research to help them make a choice about what car to buy. Obviously, if 60% of them were using the internet. All right, question 9. One online seller remarked that after years of small profits and lots of hard work, I decided to only sell my products on eBay. So not making a lot of money, lots of work. This business owner went to eBay instead. So if you look at the choices, it probably, first one, selling on eBay is easier and more profitable than their prior business. It doesn't mention anything like a trend with online sellers. It doesn't talk about having like a storefront. It's just this particular person felt like it was easier and more profitable than their prior business. So it's not generalizing to the larger public. It's talking about this particular person. Okay, so we would save and submit and make sure. And that is making inferences, post test 1. And I will upload this video and put it in right above the inferences. Again, if you had already taken this skill, I cleared out your attempt. If it was probably like if you got only 7 or below correct, I cleared it out so you can try it again and get a higher score and help your overall score. All right, be on the lookout for another video in the coming week or so. Bye.